I'm so excited if you guys take the quiz tomorrow. I'm thinking that you guys will do fairly well. I'm a little bit worried. The only reason I'm worried is because on quizzes there's so many chances to be careless or to get excited and click when you didn't really make sure your answer was actually in scientific notation. But those are the only reasons why I'm worried, because a lot of you proved that you had a good grasp of this today during class. So here you go. Here are the worked out examples from the homework so you can see how you did. You only have to watch the ones that you got wrong so you can figure out what your mistakes were. Otherwise, you don't have to watch the ones you got right. Okay, here. So first things first is we want to decide, okay, what operation are we doing? Well, this is a multiplication problem. So we're gonna, if you need to, reference your notes on the problems from the quiz tomorrow. Then you would go find the multiplication section and follow those steps. All right, the first step in multiplication is to use associative and commutative property to group the non-powers and to group the powers of 10. Okay, second step would be to actually multiply. Okay. And third step would be to use the product of powers property. And when we do the product of powers property, we're going to add the exponents. So 5 plus 8 equals 13. Now we check to make sure that's between 1 and 10. It is, so we can confidently circle and know that we have a number in scientific notation. All right, number 2. Try to make this as quick as possible. Again, we have to look and see what operation are we doing with scientific notation. Again, we have multiplication. So we can look at that section and we can follow the rules. Now, one little thing that is going to be a little tricky is that we have negative exponents. So that can cause some issues when you're doing operations with negatives. We are careless sometimes, or we don't have a good grasp of it, so we make silly mistakes. So just be cautious, all right? We're multiplying, so first we're going to use associative and commutative. We're going to put the non-powers together. We're going to multiply those two. And then we're going to put the powers together, and we're going to multiply those. All right? We'll first take care of these. And I'm going to go over here and show my work. 3.1 times 4.2. First I go through with the 2. I get 2, 6, give me some more space, 0, now I go through with the 4, that's going to be 4 and 12. Alright, now I have to add those up, 2, 10, carry, okay, I got 1302, I count my decimals in my original answer, and I put that many decimal places in my answer. There we go. So this comes to 13.02, and we still have the powers over here. All right, now we have to use our product of powers property. We're going to keep the base. We're going to add the exponents. So if I do negative 8 plus negative 5, that gives me negative 13. All right, this is where we could make a mistake. I hope you didn't make it. Okay, this number, caution, is not between 1 and 10, so we have to bump that decimal over to make it 1.302 times 10 to the. Since we made that number smaller, we have to make this exponent bigger. And remember, on a number line, if 0's over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. If negative 13's here, bigger would be that way. So negative 13's here. We got to bump it 1 this way to make it, what number would that be? Negative 12. Not negative 14, but negative 12. All right, so there's our final answer there. Number 3. Okay, now we're on to division. Okay, so you're going to look for the division section of your review sheet, and you're going to follow the directions there. First step, associate the non-powers and the powers. Next step, divide. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And we still have the powers. And last step, we have 2, and we have to use the quotient of powers property, which gives us 9 minus 7, which equals 2. So that's our exponent for this problem. Number 4, halfway there, almost halfway there. We'll be there after this. Associate, all right, the 3 and the 8, and then the powers, 10 to the 12th and 10 to the 5th. We've got to divide this guy here. Uh-oh. Top dog gets a doghouse. Let's change to our other color. Actually, I'm going to pick red. It's just a little bit easier to see. All right, so we have to go 8 goes into 3. Let's see how we do. All right, so it can't go into 3. All right, we got to put the decimal and a 0. Bring that 0 down. All right, 8 goes into, put the decimal up there. All right, 8 goes into 30 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract it, we get 6. Got to bring a 0 down. All right, 8 goes into 60 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. Minus, we get the 4, bring down the 0. And 8 goes into 40 exactly 5 times. So there's our decimal. 0.375 times 10 to the 12th over 10 to the 5th. And now we're going to use the quotient of powers property, which means we're going to subtract 12 minus 5 and get 7. Oh, I was like, yes, 7. Okay, I'm done, right? Wrong. We have a problem here. Boop, boop, boop. Alert, alert. We have a number not between 1 and 10. So we got to move that decimal over, thus making this value larger. Okay, that got, I hate when it does that. That got bigger. So my exponent has to get smaller. 10 to the 6th. And there we have it. That's how you get the answer for number 4. Rock and roll. Here we go. Oh no. First we look there. We say, uh-oh, this is an adding and subtracting scientific notation, so we have to find that section of our notes. The good thing about this is that we already have matching powers of 10, so we can jump right to the distributive property and pull that common factor out. 10 to the 5th. Right? And what's left behind? 2 plus 3, right? The 2 and the 3 and the plus sign. All right, so then after that, we just simplify. 2 plus 3 is 5, and it's being multiplied by the 10 to the 5th. Check to see if that's between 1 and 10. It is. Circle our answer because we're super confident that we got it right. Number 6, here we go. All right, so again, look here. We're doing addition, so go to that part of your notes. Now, we check to see if these match. They do not. They don't match. Okay, so what do we have to do? We got to get them to match. We're adding these up. How do we get them to match? I usually take the smaller one, which in this case is this one. I usually take that smaller one and adjust that, bump it up. So 2.1 times 10 to the 7th. I'm going to bump that up to 10 to the 8th. So since that went up, this has to go down, so that'd be 0.21. Remember, going down doesn't mean like the 2 goes to a 1. It just means that the decimal place moves to make the number smaller. All right, so we have that value goes first, so that'd be 0.21 times 10 to the 8th. And the second product there does not have to change. It's already 10 to the 8th. Now we have matching powers of 10, so we can use the distributive property to pull that guy out, 10 to the 8th, and that leaves behind 0.21 plus 1.7. 0.21 plus 1.7. I'll do some scratch work over here. 0.21 plus 1.7. We get 19.1. So when we put that together, we get 1.91 times 10 to the 8th. And this value here is between 1 and 10, so we are confident that that is correct. 2 more problems. Uh-oh, we got subtraction. So go to your subtraction, addition and subtraction section and check it out. Follow the rules, follow the steps. All right, we're going to look here and say, oh, good. I hope you felt good about this one. They match, yay. So that means we can jump right to distributive property. We're going to pull that 10 to the 6th out, and we're going to subtract what's left over. All right, now I can do that in my head. Right, we get 4.3 minus 2.1, and that gets us 2.2 times 10 to the 6th. So nice. Nice and simple, that one. All right, number 8, our last one. Here we go. All right, we are subtracting here. So make sure we follow those rules. Bummer, however, because we don't have matching powers of 10. So we have to adjust powers of 10, and usually I take the lower power of 10 and bump it up. So I'm going to take the 1.2 times 10 to the 11th. I'm going to bump that up, so that's going to be 10 to the 12th. So I have to bump that down, and so that becomes 0.12. All right, 0.12. So now I can rewrite the problem. So I have 3.2 times 10 to the 12th, and I'm subtracting from that 0.12 times 10 to the 12th as well. I'm going to need to do a little scratch work here. Not yet, actually. Sorry, I have to do order. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. All right, I got these to match. So that means I can pull them out using distributive property, 10 to the 12th. And what's left behind, I got 3.2 minus 0.12. Oops. And now I'm ready to do my scratch work. 3.2 minus 0.12. Put my 0 in, got to borrow, make that a 10, so I get 3.08. 3.08. And I have my times 10 to the 12th. And there we have it. Those are all the answers. Hopefully those helped you and prepare you well for tomorrow. Good luck.